Spiritual awakening resembles that moment when you finally break through the water's surface after an extended dive. You gasp for that first breath of authentic reality, while watching others continue swimming through the murky depths of illusion. This awakening fundamentally transforms your existence. From this point forward, there's simply no returning to who you were. The doorways to your former self vanish completely, leaving only the forward path before you. Within this liberation exists a peculiar contradiction, a unique type of confinement. Picture yourself standing on a mountain summit, breathing the purest air imaginable, yet looking down at loved ones trapped in valleys below. They appear perfectly content, absorbed in their daily patterns, pursuing security, influence, and the comforting illusion of control. The question inevitably arises, has my awakening blessed or burdened me? Why pursue deeper truth when so many find contentment in their blissful ignorance? This journey challenges you deeply, my friends, but I assure you, the destination justifies every difficult step. Though the terrain proves treacherous at times, you'll witness landscapes beyond anything your mind could previously conceive. Like all profound transformations, spiritual awakening arrives with distinctive side effects that transcend simple classification as positive or negative. They simply exist as natural aspects of evolution. Consider it similar to acclimating to high altitude. Your system requires time to adjust to the rarefied atmosphere you now inhabit. Today, I'll walk alongside you through those rarely discussed side effects of spiritual awakening. The whispered truths nobody prepares you for, yet virtually everyone encounters on this sacred path. First and foremost, disorienting confusion becomes your constant companion. Imagine this scenario. You've just awakened from the most vivid dream imaginable, and for one precious moment, complete stillness envelops you. Then suddenly, reality comes flooding in, replacing that perfect silence with a torrent of questions and bewildering thoughts. Your mind frantically inquires, what's happening to me? Is this experience normal? Why have I been chosen for this? This labyrinth of confusion welcomes nearly all awakened souls who find themselves wandering its mysterious passages. Even if you've devoted decades to spiritual disciplines, studying ancient wisdom texts, and mastering various practices, the actual experience of awakening feels like suddenly landing in a completely foreign territory. The language, customs, even the air you breathe, everything feels unfamiliar and strange. Our minds excel at navigating familiar landscapes, but awakening transports us beyond all mapped territories. It transcends what imagination can grasp, representing something no amount of conceptual preparation could possibly anticipate. You'll likely begin desperately searching for anchors, established teachings, philosophical frameworks, spiritual guidebooks. You might find yourself poring over sacred texts, seeking validation from enlightened masters throughout history, attempting to categorize and name your experience. But what practical steps can you take when confusion completely surrounds you? While confusion naturally accompanies awakening, don't allow it to escalate into panic or obsessive searching. The temptation to find immediate answers runs incredibly strong. Yet sometimes the most profound wisdom emerges from simply resting within uncertainty. Your confusion itself contains powerful lessons, like dense fog forcing you to slow your pace, heighten your awareness, and embrace present moment consciousness. Rather than compulsively seeking external validation, allow sacred moments of silence to permeate your experience. Silence, with its understated power, constructs bridges toward deeper understanding. It connects you with a state of being that doesn't demand immediate answers, a space where simply existing proves sufficient. When the mind's incessant chatter quiets, inner wisdom finds space to speak. Though consulting spiritual teachings for clarity remains perfectly natural, remember that your ultimate guidance system resides within you. Sometimes navigating awakening's waters requires no elaborate map, simply stillness and surrender to life's natural currents. Your journey may currently overflow with questions, But recognize these questions as signposts guiding you toward deeper exploration. Rather than fearing the unknown, embrace it wholeheartedly. Awakening's beauty lies in its continuous unfolding, revealing dimensions you never imagined existed. Confusion isn't an obstacle but rather a scenic detour, a winding path that, while longer, offers extraordinary perspectives missed on more direct routes. Consider it an invitation to explore more deeply, listen more attentively, and cultivate patience and openness you perhaps haven't accessed before. The second significant reality: relationship disconnection transforms your social landscape. Imagine discovering a radio frequency broadcasting music that resonates with your deepest soul. As you tune into this frequency, other stations, once clear and engaging, become static-filled, distorted, or completely silent. This metaphor perfectly captures the disconnection commonly experienced during spiritual awakening. As your authentic self emerges more clearly, your social circles inevitably transform. Conversations with longtime friends suddenly feel strained or empty. You might find yourself falling silent when previously you would have enthusiastically participated. Topics that once captivated you now seem trivial or meaningless. People who served as your anchors now appear distant, visible, but somehow unreachable across an invisible divide. Your priorities shift dramatically. Awakening feels like inhabiting an entirely new body, and experiencing profound solitude during this metamorphosis is entirely natural. You might find yourself yearning for meaningful exchanges and connections that nourish rather than deplete your evolving spirit. What practical approaches can help during this disconnection phase? Remember, feeling disconnected doesn't mean you should force yourself back into former patterns. Embrace your emerging uniqueness, even when it puzzles or alienates others. This journey belongs to you alone. As you transform, you'll find it challenging to remain unaffected by majority opinions, or avoid emotional wounds from those who don't understand your path. During these vulnerable moments, remember your journey's purpose, honoring your authentic nature. This delicate period requires protecting your newfound awareness like a tender seedling in harsh weather. Seek spiritual allies who listen without judgment and create sanctuary for your evolving beliefs. Choose environments where your heart feels truly heard, not places demanding explanations or defensive postures. Like a sapling in an ancient forest, established trees may tower above you, but remember, you're growing at your own pace in your unique direction. Though initially isolating, you're never truly alone. Connect with kindred spirits who nourish your evolving soul, just as rain and fertile soil nurture growing plants. Disconnection represents not an end point, but a transitional phase, like crossing a bridge connecting your former world to new territories. Waiting on the other side are different but equally meaningful connections, aligned with your authentic self. The third challenging reality: pain intensifies rather than diminishes. Awakening doesn't magically dissolve ego identification or instantly create perpetual serenity. Counterintuitively, awakening often amplifies pain substantially. Why does this happen? Because awakening strips away protective layers of ignorance, like suddenly illuminating a dimly lit room with powerful floodlights. You now perceive everything with crystal clarity, including dust and imperfections that always existed but remained conveniently invisible. In an awakened state, accessing heightened awareness becomes easier. However, ingrained habits wield tremendous power, occasionally pulling you back into unconscious patterns. During these moments, the contrast becomes viscerally apparent, creating deeper suffering than you experienced pre-awakening. Before your spiritual awakening, you might have remained oblivious to how your actions affected yourself and others. Post-awakening, every emotion and interaction carries profound significance. Your connection to your inner realm and the surrounding world intensifies dramatically. Pain extends beyond personal boundaries. You develop acute sensitivity to others' suffering and even our world's collective anguish. Your entire sensory system heightens considerably. Empathy and sensitivity transform from incidental qualities into core features of your awakened experience. Though seemingly paradoxical, this increased pain actually signals positive development. It demonstrates your profound attunement to life itself. Attempting to suppress or avoid this pain proves futile. It simply returns with greater intensity. Instead, create healthy channels for expressing this heightened sensitivity. Release it completely and authentically. When tears arise, allow them to flow freely without judgment. When powerful emotions build within, express them appropriately. Channel these feelings into creative expressions. Writing, artistic pursuits, connecting with nature, or whatever resonates with your unique spirit. Expressing pain demonstrates remarkable strength, not weakness. By creating pathways for pain's expression, you're not merely releasing it, you're transforming it into something beautiful or meaningful. Think of this process as a pressure release mechanism. When internal pressure builds too intensely, controlled release prevents catastrophic rupture. Essentially, increased pain following awakening invites greater authenticity, compassion, and attunement to life's intricate complexities. Acknowledge this pain while recognizing it as a powerful tool for deeper understanding and connection with yourself and everything around you. The fourth inevitable reality. An existential crisis becomes your temporary home. The awakening journey typically includes a profoundly disorienting phase, a fundamental existential crisis. While this term gets casually referenced by many questioning their life purpose, during genuine awakening, the question, "Who am I?" transforms from philosophical musing into an urgent existential dilemma that consumes you from within. Your former identity, once worn comfortably like a familiar garment, suddenly feels completely inappropriate. It's as though you've outgrown it entirely, yet haven't determined your new dimensions. You exist in strange limbo, disconnected from your previous self while uncertain about your emerging identity. Questions like, "Why am I here?" or "What purpose do I serve?" shed their abstract quality and become pressing concerns demanding immediate resolution. This phase brings tremendous turbulence. Imagine standing at a crossroads where countless paths spiral outward in all directions, each claiming to represent your authentic journey. It's undeniably daunting and, quite frankly, terrifying at times. Here's what might help during this existential crisis period. First, acknowledge that returning to your former self isn't possible. That chapter has definitively concluded, and attempting to revisit it brings only disappointment and frustration. Second, resist rushing this process. Unanswered questions create discomfort, but they also signal approaching breakthrough. If you have access to a spiritual mentor or guide, now represents the perfect time to seek their wisdom. If you're journeying alone, trust the universe's perfect timing and wisdom. Consider this analogy. During an extended road trip, when directional signs temporarily disappear, it doesn't mean you're hopelessly lost. It simply indicates you haven't reached the next marker. Continue moving forward, appreciate the journey itself, and inevitably, signs guiding your next steps will appear exactly when needed. Your existential crisis might feel like an endless loop of uncertainty, but it represents a stage nearly every awakened individual must navigate. Remember, your questioning itself demonstrates growth, even when answers remain elusive. The search itself constitutes progress, though it might not seem so currently. This represents a crucial step toward deeper self-realization and spiritual maturity. The fifth unexpected reality. Feelings of spiritual entitlement may emerge. Awakening can prove so profoundly illuminating that feeling as though you've unlocked cosmic secrets becomes almost inevitable. You might begin seeing yourself as specially chosen, a guide in a world of lost souls. Beliefs about being spiritually superior can subtly infiltrate your consciousness without your awareness. You may feel strongly compelled to awaken others, to shake them from slumber for what you perceive as their benefit. This precise moment demands careful discernment and humility. Your spiritual path belongs exclusively to you. Everyone walks their unique journey with individual lessons and personal timing. Attempting to accelerate someone else's spiritual development resembles forcibly opening a flower bud. This won't hasten blooming and might actually damage the natural unfolding process. Never mistake your heightened empathy for permission to offer unsolicited spiritual guidance. Even well-intentioned insights can manifest as unwelcome interference, so treasure your wisdom unless specifically requested. Your most powerful tool remains unconditional love, pure and free from judgment. Love provides gentle encouragement, allowing others to explore new perspectives without feeling pressured or inadequate. Imagine your interactions as serving tea to weary travelers. Love forms the water, the essential foundation, while your wisdom resembles tea leaves, subtly enhancing the experience without overwhelming it. When someone demonstrates genuine readiness and openness, they'll request stronger brewing. Otherwise, a warm cup of simple presence offers comfort in itself. Remember, awakening represents a deeply personal experience unique to each soul. While your insights might seem perfect for others' journeys, they might not be prepared to incorporate them, and that's perfectly acceptable. Continue sharing your love freely, while keeping your wisdom accessible for those genuinely seeking it. Awakening encompasses both precious gift and challenging responsibility, a beautiful dance between clarity and confusion. Your authentic journey will guide you naturally, and your compassion will enrich everyone you encounter along the way. Thank you for sharing this sacred exploration today, dear friends. If these insights resonated with your personal experience, I warmly invite you to support our community by liking, subscribing, and sharing with fellow travelers on similar paths. For deeper spiritual exploration, consider joining our membership community or supporting our ongoing work through Patreon.